Happy Friday the 13th, folks. I'm Jake Davis, and today I'm bringing you my list of the top 5 best films in the Friday the 13th franchise. Now, even though I'll be using words like best and film in this review, it's important to know that those words don't really qualify to this particular franchise. And yes, I am wearing an orange-collared shirt today because I just felt like looking like a schmuck. Number 5 is, well, I would say number 5 is the final chapter. Now, I know a lot of people consider this the best one, but again, best is a harsh word. I'm judging this list basically by what shameless, trashy entertainment do horror movies best supply that I got the best sensation and experience out of. And number 5 for me is the final chapter. Now, yes, it got Crispin Glover, Corey Feldman's introduction as Corey Feldman as Tommy Jarvis. Hush, Fisher. Hush. In Jarvis's entrance to the series. We got the Doublemint Twins girls bits and some unintentional hysterical murder scenes. It's a fun movie. Oh, not to mention the awesome Tom Savini gore effects in there, man. It's fun. It's a fun trashy slasher, man, no doubt. Number 4 is Jason Epps. Jason Epps is, I mean, if you were to say it's the worst in the franchise, I wouldn't really argue with you. But I got to applaud it for being the most different out of the whole series, out of all the sequels, while still being a Friday the 13th movie, even though it's the only one that doesn't have the word Friday in the title. Well, almost the only one. Jason is gets cryogenically frozen and wakes up hundreds of years in the future in outer space. People don't know who he is, and he starts attacking people. There's all kinds of crazy shit in this one. It's Jason in space, is basically what it is. And I mean, there's some because it was the era of the Scream movie, so there's meta, self-aware humor in there, and some really funny kills. Probably the best, most memorable murder in the whole franchise. Girl gets her face dipped into oh shit, she gets her face frozen off in the goddamn liquid ice shit. Goddamn, what's it called? Blanking out here. It's always good to not remember what words are. But yeah, it's fun. Number 3 is the Remake, the 2009 movie. Man, when I first saw that when it came out, I thought that was a fun as hell movie. I thought it was just an absolute blast. Enjoyed it so much. I think it's got maybe the best Jason performance from any actor with Derek Mears. He's so intense and intimidating in the role. And one of the genuinely most scariest moments of the whole franchise, in my opinion, maybe the scariest, is when they just find the Mama Voorhees' shrine at the camp, and they're walking down and there's just Jason just casually walking up the path, like dragging one body and another body over his shoulder. I mean, just because it's his Friday night, it was it was just really cool moment. I always thought, and like I said, he's so intense and scary in it, and it's easily got the best performances, best actors, I should say, in our lead role. Jared Padalecki and Danielle Panabaker are just far superior actors than virtually anyone else who's ever starred in a Friday the 13th film. So it's got that going for it. And plus the stoner characters are pretty likable in the movie too. You're almost bummed out to see them get fucked up. And then there's those kills. The kills are just so graphic and intense and brutal. I mean, it's clearly they weren't allowed to get away with the kind of kills they have in that remake back in the 80s when they were doing it, because they got chopped to shit in the 80s, a lot of those kills. Anyhow, number 2, Jason Lives, Friday the 13th Part 6. Now, there's so much to like about this movie, and it was damn near my number 1. I mean, I like the broad comedy. I like the almost fourth wall breaking. There's plenty of editing gags. There's I like the set pieces and stuff, borderline action scenes they do with some scenes. I love the fact that it has multiple theme songs by Alice Cooper. It's just a fun movie. The sheriff character was cool. It wraps up the whole Tommy Jarvis storyline as as inconsistent and incoherent as that is. There is a Tommy Jarvis trilogy in the middle of this franchise there, and I love the way they take Jason out in this. Spoiler, but they hook him up, like drag him down, put a chain around his throat, tie it off to a rock, pull him down to the boat, to the bottom of the lake, and then like fucking chop up his face with a propeller on a motorboat, sailboat. I shouldn't talk anymore, man. I've been doing this too long. Anyhow, yeah, that's a fun one, man. I mean, it's also got Tony Goldwyn in there, and I like the whole idea of it. They're trying to the local town's trying to rebrand Camp Crystal Lake and put the brutal, gory past behind them. I liked all that shit had going for it, and I think it's the only one in the whole franchise where it's actually, there's actual campers at the summer camp during the course of the film. Brings me to my number one. My favorite one is easily Freddy versus Jason. I actually watched it earlier today. Yes, it's a stupid movie. It's a stupid, trashy movie with shameless fake titties and over-the-top CGI fights and just gory, gruesome, gnarly kills and ridiculously stupid, unlikable characters. But I loved it. I loved it so much, man. It's the only one of either franchise I got to see at the theaters, which sucks. But at least I got to see one. It's the last time Robert Englund played Freddy Krueger. It had all this hype and all these years of people wanting it to come in. I love that the whole color scheme kind of has like it's almost Suspiria lighting in the dream sequences, but like comic book tone kind of look. Something I noticed about it. The fact that Rey Mysterio Jr. is Freddy Krueger's stunt double in it. It just got so much shit going for it that I just absolutely love. I love the theme song, the closing credits by Il Nino. I Cannot Live Without You. I love that song. I love Freddy vs. Jason. It's an absolute blast. I even like the stupid fucking Jay and Silent Bob character. Kevin Smith was probably watching that movie going like, what the fuck? Y'all just steal my character. They should have just called him Jay. What do they call him? Freebird? Yeah, it was an awful movie. I mean, they're all awful movies, but it's my favorite of the awful movies, And of course, I'm going to talk about the other 7. Now, the original Friday the 13th, I didn't see without commercials till I was an adult. And I didn't see the unrated version until just a few weeks ago. I should point out that I've actually re-seen all these movies recently. I got a whole collection of my wife bought me all 8 original Paramount films on a collection. Plus I got the 2009 remake, and I got the Freddy vs. Jason on DVD already, and I rewatched the other 2 online. So I revisited the whole franchise recently. And I didn't decide till this morning that I was going to do this video. But, yeah. The first one, even though it's a bad movie, it's just a really, really bad movie. All it really did was kick off this huge franchise. One decent performance from, what was her name, Betsy Palmer. She's alright in the end as Mrs. Voorhees, and, like Kevin Bacon. Kevin Bacon's in most iconic murder in the whole franchise. How'd she get under there with the thing, get enough room under a bed to stab through, or even enough pressure? You just got to go with the movie's about a fucking creature from the lake who eventually goes to outer space and then fights a dream demon, but I'm going to worry about, the logics of stabbing somebody underneath a bed. Anyhow, it's, the second one is, first off, I've always hated the gimmick of killing off the survivor of the first film at the beginning of the second film. Do something with the character, or just leave them be. I mean, I know it's a fictitious character, but treat your world with some sort of respect or some sort of consistency or logic. Other than that, there's not really much to remember. There was this really really cute girl that got a slingshot in the butt. There's a guy in a wheelchair that got hacked in the face and falls down some magical steps that show up out of nowhere. There's the final girl who uses some smart trick, like actually pretends to be Mama Voorhees to trick Jason before she kills him. The third one, there's nothing. The third one it's in 3D. He gets the mask, and that's about it. It is one of the worst, one of the most forgettable in the whole series. I really don't like Jason's, when he takes off the mask, Jason's makeup. And it's another thing. I've always heard people talk, you never see Jason without his mask. You see Jason without his mask almost every fucking movie. He just never looks the same from movie to movie. The fifth one, the fifth one was, it's easily, I say it's the worst in the series, because even though Jason Goes to Hell is god-awful, at least it has Jason in it. But yeah, it ends up being a guy pretending, dressed up as Jason Voorhees, chopping up kids. And it's really stupid. But at least it's part of the Tommy Jarvis trilogy. And speaking of Jason Goes to Hell, that was just so awful. I gotta say, I like the guy who's hunting Jason. I like how they kind of flip the whole idea of the main characters on the ear instead of such young teenagers. They're competent and intelligent young parents just going through their own issues right now, and then all the monster shit comes in. But I absolutely hate the fact that the killer isn't really Jason. It's the entity of Jason going from one body to another, and that really fucking sucks. That really sucks to me, and it's always taken me out of it. Jason Takes Manhattan almost made my top 5 list. I mean, I know it's awful. I know it's awful, but almost made my top 5 list. Just because it was the first first Friday the 13th movie I ever saw. And I always love the kill when he kills the guy with the solder rock. I like when he punches the dude's head off. Kelly Hu's in there, who is, always great. Cool, iconic shot of Jason Voorhees standing in the middle of Manhattan, in the middle of Times Square even. And, the Batman movie poster is right there too. It's so great. The Batman movie poster is the most successful thing in this movie. And I'm forgetting. Oh yeah, and New Blood Part 7. It has a lot of fun stuff. It also was very close to making my list here. I like the whole telekinetic thing with the girl, and how we actually have a hero that can fight Jason. Even though it's basically just Carrie versus Jason, as everyone's always called it. But it's also the one. That's also the one where they got the guy from Weekend at Bernie's gets killed by a weed whacker. Weed whacker got some fucking buzzsaw hooked up to it. Did Jason do that, or they have like the worst fucking groundskeeper ever at Crystal Lake? Man, what is he doing to the fucking lawn? But yeah, man, that's my take on the Friday the 13th franchise. I think I talked about all that garbage, and if I overlapped, well, they did too. They're pretty much all the same movie. Hope y'all like this review. Hope you'll watch my other top 5s. Hope you watch all my videos, because I just need that kind of attention. I'll probably do another video later on today. Depends on if depends on if my plans change, which they may very well likely at any moment. Anyhow, I'm Jake Davis, and I'll catch you on the fly. Happy Friday the 13th.